If print on demand is so popular, why are so many people struggling to make sales? I opened this store like a month ago. Since ads started, the store has views but no sales yet. In a moment, we'll take a look at that store that they shared. What I'm going to do in this video today is lay out some of the most common mistakes that I see beginners make with their stores. This will hopefully help you to course correct if you've already gotten started or avoid some major mistakes if you are about to start. This here is the store that the person posted about how they were running ads and getting some views but not making any sales, and honestly they have made one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of beginners make. This store does not have a niche. They've basically just created abstract designs and thrown them on swimsuits. Or what about this store here? Do you see the yellow background on the entire store, the white boxes around all of the products, the long product titles that sort of have random descriptions of the products in them? It sort of makes everything feel slightly generic. Or take a look at this store here. Do you see how it is the same design over and over again on lots of different products? It basically just makes it feel like a product directory. As I mentioned today, we are reviewing why beginners fail. Every single Tuesday in my Facebook group, I make this post here. So what we're doing is reviewing some stores that were shared here. Everything I go through today is meant to be constructive. I am not trying to be negative about these stores. If I review your store, please try to take the criticism lightly. Again, I am not trying to discourage. What we're going to be doing is breaking down the three most important parts of your print-on-demand store. The first is your niche, the second is your designs, and the third is your store brand. If you need help with any of these, I do have a free print-on-demand course down in the description. It's got over 30 videos inside of it, and like I said, it is completely free. Take a look at this store here. It is called campingtea.com. It was shared on that post that I made inside of the group, and honestly, it feels very good. It feels like a real brand. There is a great use of different product images throughout the store. There's a couple of sections of text where the store owner has written about their brand. If we contrast that with this store here, you should be able to see a clear difference. It's essentially just a whole bunch of products that are put all the way down the home page. As you scroll through, there's really no branding here at all. The background being yellow, the white backgrounds around the products, and the long product titles make it kind of feel generic. A store like this does have a niche, but they don't really have much here. All they have is their 8 products and an image at the top that is a little bit generic, and that's it. We can see another example of that with this store here. There's just 5 designs on the store, and then it just sort of ends. And lastly, we have this store here. We have a big boxy logo at the top. As we scroll down, we see 8 different designs, and then again, the store ends. There's also some issues with colors. I don't think the green background is working well for this store. I think the black and pink buttons are also not working well, and then the fonts that are chosen for the actual product titles I don't think looks that great. It kind of looks sloppy. They've also neglected to use capital letters at the beginning of each word in the title, which again makes it feel slightly basic. When it comes to building a homepage, you really want to start to treat things a little bit like a brochure. Here inside of the theme editor within Shopify at the top, I typically will add in some sort of image banner like this. This is essentially what the Camping Tea store has done here. You'll want to get an image in there that clearly shows your products. You can add some text as well to highlight different aspects of your brand. Below that, I usually like to add some sort of a text section. That way I can continue to talk about different things relevant to the brand. If you wanted to, you could change the color of this section to kind of break things up a little bit. Below that, I would say it's time to start adding some products in. You could put a featured collection of bestsellers in like this. If you had more than one product type, you could begin adding in a collection list where you're showcasing your different product types here. Using images like these on the Camping Tea store to represent some of those different collections could be a great way to showcase them. And then instead of just ending the store like a lot of the examples today, basically after the products there's nothing else, we could come over to the sections again and we could add in some more store content. One of the greatest sections that I like to use is called a multi-row section. This allows me to add even more brand relevant content in the form of text and in the form of images. You can see I now have a nice image banner section at the top. I have some text, I have some products, I have some collections, and then down below I have even more sections to talk about the brand. The key is to not make the store feel empty like this. When you're building your own store, you are creating a brand, and you need to have content on your homepage to talk to people about what it is your store is about. As I mentioned before, down in the description of this video, I do have a free Shopify course. If you wanted to go through those videos, it should help you to actually build yourself a great store. Another thing I think beginners struggle to realize is that that print on demand is about getting people to make an impulse purchase. The way that we do that is by choosing a niche to base our designs on. Back to this comment here, he said he opened the store a month ago, he's been running ads, he's got viewers, but has not made any sales. This is the store that has essentially just created a lot of abstract designs and put them on various pieces of swimwear. People are essentially browsing these items here, but there's no reason for them to buy them. They are just camo and abstract pattern swimsuits. If you're running ads on social media, the people that are seeing the ads are not shopping, which means they need a reason to become interested in buying something. That reason, in most cases, is going to be the niche. According to Google, the definition of a niche is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service, and it says that it is something that is appealing to a small, specialized section of the population. For me, the way that I define niches is things that people are passionate about or things that they identify with. Passions could include different hobbies or interests that they have, and then identities could be a job that someone has or a place that they are from. There are literally hundreds of those out there, and just creating abstract designs like this is a very quick way to, like that person said, get a lot of views on your stuff but no sales. That's because there's not a niche present in the designs. If you're struggling to actually choose a niche, what I would say is to choose something based on what I just talked about that you are personally interested in. That's going to help you to create great designs. It's also going to help you to have fun with your store and ultimately put the time in that's going to be needed for you to actually succeed with it. This store here, clearly a niche-based store. It is for people that love to camp. We have this store here. This is a store for people that are of a Christian faith. We have this store here. This is a store for people that like to go hiking or going to various national parks and things like that. This here is another national park store. I've shown this in a lot of my videos here on the channel. I think they've done a great job, even though they're selling t-shirts. Personally, I like to sell higher profit items, but this is still a great looking niche store. We also have stores like this where there is, again, not really a niche. They have some of these hooded blankets that just have flowers on them, and ultimately this is the type of thing that people are not likely to impulse purchase. The third part of your success is going to be your designs. This is essentially what people are paying for. Any great design has three key elements. The first is the actual graphic or the illustration that's present in the design. The second is the text or the quote. And then the third thing is the overall aesthetic of it. You can see on this store here, we have a few designs that do not have a graphic. They also don't have great aesthetic to them. They're basically just very block letter text. This sort of looks like it was typed inside of Microsoft Word, for example. As we continue to scroll down, we do see some more that have a little bit of color in them, but again, they're sort of missing the mark in doing those three things well. They have some text, but they kind of have a clip art aesthetic to them. Stuff like this here likely has a much higher chance of actually selling. There's a great aesthetic, there's a great graphic, and there is a text-based message to the design. In some of my other videos, I've gone in depth on creating designs, so definitely make sure to check those out, because ultimately, like I said, when it comes to creating designs, we want to avoid situations where we are doing stuff like this. These designs are very clip arty. The text needs a lot of work. It's basically just black block letters on the products. And again, we also have situations like this where there's just a white background with flower graphics in the foreground, and there's not really much there. A winning design has three elements. As I mentioned before, it is the graphic, the text, and then the aesthetic of the design. If you focus on those three things and you make sure you have yourself a great niche that you're actually making the design for, and you build out a store that feels like a real brand, you're going to put yourself in a much better position to actually make sales. Hopefully this has all been helpful. Like I said, I don't want to come off as negative as I am reviewing these stores today. I am truly trying to just give examples of what maybe you should not do. And at the end of the day, I am not trying to pretend that I think I know everything. There is a chance that there could be something today that I did not like that someone else will like and will actually buy. I am just trying to share something from my experience to hopefully help you out. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the stores that I've shared so far. If you want to get your store potentially featured, like I said, every single Tuesday inside of my Facebook group, I make a post asking people to share their stores. If you do share your store, just keep in mind, if I do review it and I have any constructive criticism, I am not trying to discourage you. I am just trying to help. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.